Hello and welcome to Memoirs of Successful Women. I'm Annie Gibbins, founder and CEO of Women's Biz Global, and I invite you to kick off your heels, get comfortable, and be ready to receive the golden nuggets that are shared as you listen in to candid conversations I have with fascinating women from around the globe. Business leaders, entrepreneurs, humanitarians, athletes, and a whole lot of regular people. They will keep you riveted as they let their guard down and open up on aspects of their business and life journey, how they measure success, and what they have learned along the way. My intent is that our conversations will inspire you to embrace opportunities and possibilities beyond the limits of your imagination, because I know that this is where we reclaim our power. I want you to reclaim your power, your strength and vulnerability, to stand in your truth and propel yourself towards the life that you dream to live. Hello and welcome to Women's Biz with Annie Gibbins, the podcast where aspirations are understood, challenges are acknowledged, and success is celebrated. I am your host, Annie Gibbins, and today we have a truly inspiring guest with us. Her name is Carol Kaemmerer, and Carol's journey is nothing short of remarkable. After facing an unexpected downsizing in a Fortune 500 company, she didn't let that deter her. Most of us would be plummeted in the well, but she went, you know what? I'm going to have to leverage my extensive background in marketing and communications and start working out how to create a new path. And that's what she did in LinkedIn. So she worked on 2 decades of experience that she'd had with marketing, and then she went, okay, I'm going to find a pivotal role that LinkedIn plays and make sure that I am the expert in helping others build their personal and professional brands, because that can happen in just a stellar way. So she identified a common challenge that many accomplished leaders struggle to convey their unique brand effectively on this platform, leaving them with a gap in their online presence. And we know that this is disaster. So I'm really looking forward to our conversation today, talking about how we can really elevate our online brand via LinkedIn. Welcome to the program, Carol.
Thank you so much, Annie. I just appreciate you so much.
I'm looking forward to our chat today because I am such a lover of LinkedIn. I'm on there every day and I just know the value, but I know that also so many people do not understand the true value and they also don't know how to make it work for them. So I'd love to start our conversation today by asking you to share a little bit more about your journey from a downsized consultant, if you like, to becoming a leading expert in personal branding on LinkedIn. You know, what were your pivotal moments that led you on this new path?
It's interesting. I knew that because my network was all tied up in the company that I'd worked with for 20 plus years, and nobody knew what I could do outside that company, that I needed to use LinkedIn better than the average bear. I needed to know how it worked. And so my action step was to study it, to go to every seminar, every webinar, to read as much as I could read, to try out things and see if I could figure out how it responded. And while I was learning, I reached back to those people who had hired me for all those years because they lost their jobs too. And they were so impressed with the value that I could bring to them that they sent me their friends right away. I'm going, oh, this isn't what I was going for. And then I'm going, the universe has heard my problem and this is how it's solving. So I realized that I should just embrace the job that presented itself. And I began to actively work with people on their profiles. And then another pivot was very soon I realized that my people are senior level executives. They are CEOs. They are, C-suite people. And the sooner I could embrace that, the better connection I would have with people coming to me. So that was great.
You're the accidental, if you like, LinkedIn success story, right? It's just
Yes.
amazing. And I love that for our listeners to go, you know what? You can just go, oh my gosh, my life is ended. You know, I have this amazing role with a Fortune 500 companies and go, surely this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life. And then you suddenly go, you know what? I'm going to become a geek in something. And I love that principle. That is such a success principle right there. Gold nugget to our listeners going, you know what? Just pick something ideally that interests you, that's going to be your sweet spot, and then just learn the life out of it and become the expert in it. And I know since then you've written, you know, best-selling books on being a LinkedIn expert, and you're also being recognized in awards for all of these sorts of achievements. It's just absolutely fabulous. And I also love what you shared there, that you actually go back to the people that you work with. You don't always have to go, oh my gosh, I'm now going to have to start a whole new space and leave that behind. So many people think, oh, I've lost that chapter and now I have to start something new. All of those people are in your network for life, or many of those people have actually suffered situations like you, and they need your help.
Yeah.
So great. I know that you believe that there are 3 common misconceptions about LinkedIn that can be really detrimental to the way you're using it. I'd love you to elaborate on what are they and explain that how they might be actually hindering professionals in their career development without them even realizing sometimes.
Okay. So the very first one is that LinkedIn is just for people who are out of work and are looking for a next job. Now, if you believe that, then if you have a job, you're not going to be on LinkedIn very much. But that's a real problem, because LinkedIn is a place where you can shine. And it's a place where people, even within your company, can perceive and find out how you value the work that you do, how you talk about it, so that perhaps you might be considered for another opportunity within your company with more responsibility. It's a place where people can find you for board opportunities, for any number of things. It's a place where clients are looking. And so if you are not taking advantage of LinkedIn, that's really a sad thing, because you know, if you're an entrepreneur, or you need to sell your services, people are not experiencing you as someone who is active on the platform and, you know, with it in a business sense. So that's number one. I think another is thinking that the way to LinkedIn success is to have thousands of connections. The deal is, connections are good, and we do need at least 500 connections to make the LinkedIn platform really work for us. But if they're just like poker chips that you're raking in, and you just look at them and go, oh, you know, I've got all these poker chips, it doesn't work, because what we have is people, and we could have relationships with those people. If you have no relationships, but you have connections, it just, you know, where is your head? You know, because people love to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And even if the person that you've connected to is not the appropriate client for you, you never know who they're going to introduce you to. You know, if you've established a relationship, if they love what you're posting, all of those things, if you have a real relationship, that makes a huge, huge difference. So at number 3 is people don't look at LinkedIn very long, and so you should just write just a little bit. Oh my goodness, it shouldn't be further from the truth, because every LinkedIn profile has two audiences. The first audience is people. And if you haven't gotten their attention in a few minutes, yes, they're going to leave. But if you have, they're going to read who you are and, what your business purpose is and all wonderful things. But the second audience is the LinkedIn bots. And they are actually finding you based on the number of times the keyword that's being searched for appears on your profile. So it's not, does the word appear yes, or does the word appear no? It is, how many times does the word that is being searched for appear on your profile? And that will determine how you rank on a keyword search. Now, we know that when someone is looking for someone just like us, they're not going to go deeper than 2 pages. And that's 20 people. And so it's a hard thing to rank highly on a keyword search. But if you write to the margins, write to LinkedIn's limits, as opposed to thinking that 2 sentences will do in your about section, you have, it just lots of opportunity to be found.
Exactly. There are so many opportunities, and that's such great advice. And I'm actually finding that to even be playing out for me this week. An example of this is I'm just about to start a new TV show, Women's Biz TV, with Annie Gibbins. Very exciting. And so I'm doing VIP invites via LinkedIn, and I'm looking at people's profiles. And so here I am as the person who is wanting to do the invitations. I'm scouring my network of, maybe 30,000 people, but I'm going in there and I'm looking not just what their profiles are, but also how active they are. Are these people busy? So if someone hasn't posted something for like 2 months, I'm kind of thinking, well, are they really current? Are they leading in this space? Whereas someone who's posting, 3 times a week, sometimes every day, they're all over it. They're all talking. If I'm looking for a woman expert in cybersecurity, and she's just like talking cyber, it's not not surprising that everyone would think she's the woman who is leading that way in that business. I want to have that woman on my show. The same thing is happening, Carol, that those same people that I'm inviting, they're also checking me out. They're like, Annie's gone and said, wow, I'm going to have this epic TV show and it's going to be seen by 350 million potential people. Do you want to come on my show? Well, they're also got to do exactly what I'm doing and go, well, who is Annie? What's she talking about? And is it consistent? And also, are people commenting? What's her following and things of that nature? There are so many little tips and tricks that you go, you know what? It's a conversation. I see it like a party. You want to go, I'm at a party and I want to go, is everyone, I love what you said there, you could have like 30, 50,000 people, but do you know any of them? And I've done that. I go and pick someone who knows someone because they're a contact and say, can you introduce? And they go, I don't actually know that person. And you're like, well, how are you friends? Why would you be at the same party together, right? Like it's kind of a bit weird. And then also, do you know them and use it to your advantage? Oh my gosh, I could talk LinkedIn all day with you, Carol. But I have to ask you the next question. Okay. Which is building a powerful online brand and a robust professional network. That's what we're talking about. They're crucial. They're crucial aspects to your career success because you're doing exactly what I'm giving examples of now. You're actually using it intentionally. You want to be showing up as your best self. You want to be checking out other people and finding that. So how do you then guide C-suite executives and senior leaders in effectively articulating their personal brand on LinkedIn? They might not have that natural skill to go, your keywords, know who you are, make yourself shine. What sort of strategies? If they're listening today going, I've got no idea what to do. I don't even know where to start. What do you do? What do you recommend for them to start expanding their network beyond their own company? Get out of your own company.
I think that we should invite people that are part of our natural network. So these people are attending conferences and workshops and, events. They should reach out and invite people that they meet at those events. If they're highly placed within their company, they should make sure that all their direct reports are certainly part of their network. And if someone from their company sends them an invitation, depending on the kind of executive they are, I would recommend that they accept, People love leaders who are inclusive. And if you are that kind of leader, to, accept the invitation that comes from the admin, 2 departments over would be a kind thing to do. So it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but starting with the people that you actually know, I think is helpful. The more people get into LinkedIn, the more comfortable they are in meeting other people because they see them behave online, they see what they post. Then maybe they can feel like breaking out of the group of people that they actually know.
I agree. Great tips. Start with those you know. Obviously, be connected. It's a bit of a sad message if you say to a colleague, "No, I'm not accepting your invitation." By the way, so use your social skills there. And then it's kind of like, I love the way it gives you that functionality. That's like, well, those people know these people. It's kind of like looking for those common links. I always love to do that and go, "Hi, it appears 30 of people in our connections are the same." I'm thinking we must have things in common. Like, that's a great approach. You can see how many you do, like that extra 1 or 2 seconds of research, and you find something that connects you. Or when I was CEO of Glaucoma Australia, an eye health charity, for example, I'd then go, okay, well, I want to know ophthalmologists, optometrists, and so therefore I can go out of my own business to then go, right, who are all the people at universities lecturing that, work as their professions, and go, because of my role, I'm feeling that we would have something in common. Another great thing that I love doing, and I don't know if you highly recommend this one, is actually, instead of getting desperate about inviting, start commenting on what you like about other people. So when you find those people and go, "I so love your thoughts on that, that was really terrific," and you give them a comment or even send it to them as a message, they'll go, "Wow, this person really likes what I'm doing. I should friend them." What'll happen is, what my experience is, they actually ask me instead of me asking them.
Yes.
Because they appreciated that you were engaged. Is that a good strategy?
Oh, it's the best strategy. I just love that. So actually, LinkedIn has defined what engagement looks like. And what it looks like to them is 5 words or more in comment. So you can like anybody any comment you see, but that doesn't count. And also, you go girl doesn't count. Congratulations doesn't count. You can congratulate somebody. You can praise their article, but you have to use 5 words or more for it to count for anything. For LinkedIn to give that that article or that post another ride around the Ferris wheel.
I think that is such a gold nugget tip, everyone listening in. 5 words or more. That's it. There's so many people who just go like, or woohoo, or that's awesome. It's nice. You've taken that effort, but just go and say, "I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, awesome lady," or whatever. Then suddenly you've given this. It's like a 10x factor, isn't it? Whatever the algorithm is, which will be fluid. But how good is that? So start thinking about that when you're commenting, and ask those. Actually, be intentional. Ask those people who comment on your things regularly to go, "You know what? Can you just make sure you use more than 5 words?" Because it is going to make a difference, and you want to be helping.
A difference. The other thing is, when I teach this, I teach people to add value to the person whose work you're commenting on or the post that you're commenting on. Add value because you're expanding on that to the other people that are reading, and add value to yourself by showing that you're a smart cookie and that you can write a yes and kind of response.
Yes,
You know,
actually write a sentence response, and they'll go, "Wow, she's articulate. She looks professional."
right.
Right?
So you want to make sure that people are going, oh, she really knows what she's talking about, and look, she's commenting on this friend of mine, and it works. It works, and just having in mind that you're trying to add value 3 ways is a huge advantage, because I think that you can actually understand why congrats is insufficient.
Exactly. And back to my party sort of scenario, it's like you don't just walk in and go congrats and then just stop. They'll go, okay. And then whereas someone else will go, oh my gosh, I saw you in the news. I'm so proud of you. That's so exciting. You had so much going on at the moment. Wow. And then whose attention is going, whoa, I'm liking this person. Do you know what I mean? Like it makes
sense. I know what you mean.
Once you start thinking about it. Now, people listening in will also go, I don't have the time, right? We're all juggling time and relationships, and where do I invest? And I've been on certain groups that go, I want you to post twice a day at this time and global times. And I'm like, you know what? I think I've got better things to do at 11 o'clock at night, or, whatever. We're also in global time. So how does that work as well?
Right.
So I know this is a really big issue. Well, how much time should I actually spend on this? So what do you advise individuals to do to overcome those sorts of challenges while still achieving their goals in this space?
So for me, engagement involves 3 things. It involves paying attention to others, so commenting on their posts. It involves growing your network, adding people in a reasonable way, and it involves posting. So the ideal is to be able to post once a day, but if we cannot, imagine doing that because it's just too much, imagine instead posting on a regular cadence. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, but consistent. One of the things that happens when someone looks at your profile is that one of the things that they see is, what were your last 2 or 3 posts?
Yeah.
And if the answer to that is 7 months ago or even 1 month ago, it says something about you. And it's not flattering what it says. So, if you want to feel and look like you are au courant, up to date and, paying attention to the business world, having something at least weekly would be a good metric. And then don't back away from commenting on other people's material. That's easier for us to do. It's relationship building. It's nurturing relationships. And it's so important. We can't expect that people are going to comment on what we write if we never comment on what other people write. So it is
exactly. It's like becoming an insurance person and then suddenly contacting all of your friends to sell insurance. They're like going, well, would it kind of be nice if you were chatting to me more when you weren't trying to sell me something? So it actually is. It's a social dance. It's we're in a conversation and we're supporting each other professionally and we're admiring what each other are doing and whatever. But we also then, the more you the more you comment on other people, the more likely they are to then reciprocate, because it does take time. And that's what I was mentioning before. It takes time, and you go, well, how much time do I want to do it? And you go, well, once you start doing a little bit every, even if you gave yourself a goal and went, I'm going to just look at my feed and go, I'm going to make 3 comments on different people's posts, you would find that you're going to suddenly start shifting the energy, and then they'll come back and go, oh, she commented on my post. They'll check you out. What'll happen is you'll suddenly go, oh, they've checked me out. And then they're more likely to then start, bringing you front of mind, which is what you're wanting. So it is such a good tip. And so I strongly encourage everyone to go. You don't have to be spending hours on there though, do you, Carol?
As a matter of fact, I recommend deciding how much time you can afford to spend that day, and setting your clock, your watch, phone timer. It's like, if it's 15 minutes, be quick about it. Just go through it quickly, look at your notifications, which is a really important section, because LinkedIn is trying to match what they send you with what they think you will respond to. They're sending you people that you are connected to. And then look at the first part of your feed, because usually, they are friends of yours that are commenting, and you don't want to miss that, because that's the way we keep in touch these days. It is a way to grow relationships with people across the globe.
Yeah. Fantastic. Now, what's your thoughts on people using it socially though? Like the baby pictures, modern business is also about showing up as your authentic self, but it's not Facebook, and so with that sort of blend, is there like a percentage of actually showing the real you, or the different side of you? Or is it like, what? Don't overshare in those sorts of ways. Really just keep it business. You're the pro. What's your advice?
Okay. Well, I have turned a new leaf, and I am starting to, every once in a while, say something that's a little more personal. And today was an example of that, and Annie commented. People come to me for my services, not big services from a machine, a whole army of people. And so people need to know who I am. And today I was speaking to a group of people who work in the area of senior services. They provide care to people who are seniors. And having had a mother and father who went to a senior community and absolutely loved it, I really get what they give. And so to tee up my conversation, I posted a picture of my dad receiving an award at his senior community. And he was so proud, and he was surrounded by people that loved him and that he loved. And so I told that I was going to speak. And I was speaking to a group of people that were not the same people, but were in the same business. And so that touched my heart. And I don't know, it felt really genuine. It felt like a new leaf, because I don't usually do that. But it was really fun.
Yeah, so, I liked it. I commented straight away. I'm like, I love that, because I'm the authenticity queen. So I'm probably the other side. I'm the oversharer. But then I also think it allows people to really dive into your why, your drive, the reasons that you're happy to be in this space. It really is genuine, and people want to do business with people who are genuine, who are really driven for the right reasons. And having, a look on your dad's face, it's just like, it's just like, oh, that's so great. And I'm like, I really love this. So I agree, you don't have to be doing it all the time, but actually dropping in that narrative, that little storyline of, this is why I'm here in this space, because this is important to me. I think it's a really great extra little tip. So There's people who will be listening in though who also go, it's so hard after you've had a job loss. Now this is your lived experience. So it's not like you're just building your profile. It's easier to go, right, I've got to get more committed on LinkedIn. I've got to really keep building my profile, because then you've got a really nice track record. It's really hard. I think people are at a real crossroad when then you put the available for work options, or, you know, on your tile, or if you then go, okay, well, what do I do? And they can feel stuck at that moment. Have you got any practical tips on how they can really regain momentum while not looking out of work?
Okay. So I would recommend for senior level people that they not use the open to work photo frame. That photo frame was developed by LinkedIn in 2020 when thousands of people lost their jobs in the entertainment industry, in the hospitality industry, in the restaurant industry, because we weren't doing those things. And that particular photo frame says, needy, hire me now. If you are a VP or above, looking needy is not a good look on you. So I really, for my clientele that is, high-end achievers, I recommend that they don't use that. I recommend that they not say available for work. Again, it's not a good look. What executive recruiters tell me is that they would much rather hire someone who is working for a competitor than they would someone who's out of work and who is starting to look needy. It's not happy advice, but I think that when you are out of work, you need to focus on what are your core skills. A headline that I would create would be a functional job title, not your actual job title, and then 3 ways that you add value. Now, you have to assume that if you added value in those ways before, you will add value in those ways again. And you would put up a headline that doesn't say anything about available for work now. If you are hiring a chief financial officer, you would expect that there would be some period of time between when you hired and when they were available for you to come to work for you. So the notion that you're available now really works for people who are at a lower level of position where, oh my gosh, it's a bargain because she's available now.
Thank God I found someone who can come in tomorrow.
Right. Now, it is interesting. I did an article on this, and I interviewed some executive recruiters who said what I said about executives. And then I interviewed some people who hire lower people on the career ladder. And they said that if you are, in that kind of beginning ladder, part of the ladder, that using the open to work would be good because those people, they're expecting to, onboard them quickly. And so that's an advantage. But available now for executives does not work.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I totally love the way you've explained that, because I feel exactly the same. As a CEO, I'd be like, if I'm needing someone to do, a graphic designing or some marketing work or something, and then I'm like, I would love someone to go available now. I go, thank God I found someone who's available. Whereas if I'm looking for someone to become, my COO or something, I'm like, I'm assuming they're going to be busy because they should be because they're really good,
Yes,
So it's
yes.
like I'm hoping, and I'm also should be at that level of my business. I should be, planning it out that I'm going to need this person in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It's more that I'm having a conversation is, what's your situation with moving on? So even if you're, say, you're consulting or something else, like we know this even for actors, and they'll be going, oh my gosh, I was out of work forever, but they never write out of work. They just work on projects, writing scripts, doing things. So you're busy in your industry without oversharing that you're desperate. I absolutely love what you shared there. And I know that's going to be so valuable for our listeners, because many people will go, yeah, these are the sorts of things I don't know. Is this good? Is it not? If it has a function, shouldn't I be using it? Not necessarily, is what you're saying. How do you actually write certain parts of it? And for those of you who are wanting to know more, you obviously can go to carolkaemmerer.com. But she's also written a book called LinkedIn for the Savvy Executive, which has been released even on its second edition. It's been so popular. Woohoo. Oh, there you go. You've got a copy of it. And that would be, tell us a little bit about that. What is someone going to receive when they reach out to you and get that book?
The book is really an excellent book. It's won all kinds of awards. Book Authority named it one of the best LinkedIn books of all time. The C-Suite Network has recognized it as one of the 100 plus best business books. And the International Book Awards gave it 2 gold awards in the career category. So,
congratulations.
It's a great book. And because I wrote specifically to my target audience, it goes beyond just your LinkedIn profile. It talks about how do you express your executive brand when you comment online? How do you know who should be in your network when you are, how the way that you express your executive presence can actually determine whether you are the kind of person that would embrace anybody in your business that asks to join, or whether you are a more aloof kind of person, and then you wouldn't, because they can't benefit you. But it talks about network. It talks about being active. It really expands beyond just the profile itself.
Oh, and it's all in one handy book, which I just love, that someone who's become an expert, she's done the work, she's already been working in this space for a long time now. She's very high up in the ranking in LinkedIn experts. She's written the book, and now it's got all those gold nuggets for you, that if you're wanting an upskill in LinkedIn, it's definitely worth reaching out to Carol, carolkaemmerer.com. You'll find her there. She'll be able to find out the details, or just Google it, or ideally link up with her on LinkedIn. That's an idea.
Excellent.
Start there. Start building your networks and have that conversation. I think it's just been such a great conversation to have today, because I'm just social, and I automatically go, wouldn't you want to meet people, and wouldn't you want to be intentional on that? I appreciate that for so many people, it actually is the opposite. It's like, it's not that easy. I don't know, should I reach out? Should I send them, when it says, do you want to add a note? Should I add a note? Should I not add a note?
Oh, add a note.
There's all of these sorts of things. It's kind of like there's you don't know what you don't know. And so easy once you're in that space going, yeah, you should be there. You should be posting every day. It's kind of like someone else will be like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Is this going to be positive for my brand? Is it going to be negative for my brand? And there's a whole science to it. I tell you what, it will unlock your next level of success. And that's what we're all about on Women's Biz Podcast, talking about women's journeys to success, and then also giving them tools that you can be successful as well. And I think this has been such a wonderful conversation today. I love your authentic sharing, that you're like going, you know what, I was in that well, and you chose to get out of it by using your experience from your past. So never throw that out, everybody. If this is you in this situation, don't throw that out. Go and say, well, you know what? I wasn't an expert in this space. How can I channel that into a new space? Just go and slide left, right, somewhere else, and then keep connected with those people that you've been in with over the years. You never know who they know or what their needs are at that moment. Start using LinkedIn to build your networks from there. I think these have been such great tips. There's going to be heaps and heaps of secrets, because this is not a LinkedIn tutorial today, that you want to get from Carol's book, and also just start practicing yourself and reach out to either of us if you're wanting to go, you know what, I'm going to need a little bit of extra help. You know, I've got LinkedIn webinars. Carol's got all sorts of things happening. I think it's just so wonderful. And most importantly, listeners, I love the fact that we can now start watching you get more engaged. So you should be definitely connecting with both of us, but start commenting on our posts. You know what? You comment on our posts, we will comment on your posts, and we'll start building that relationship. We'll start helping you shine. We'll also have just real respect for what you're trying to achieve as a businesswoman out there, and man, if men are listening in, more than welcome, because we want to see you succeed in life.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on my show today, Carol. It's been a great conversation.
Annie, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Memoirs of Successful Women. I'm Annie Gibbins, founder and CEO of Women's Biz Global. And if you would like to fast track your future success, hop on over to womensbizglobal.com. Find out about all things women's biz, and most importantly, take the opportunity to have a free trial of Women's Biz Tribe. I look forward to seeing you online very soon. Until next episode, bye for now.